Hi, just a little tip. I talk very slow and I'm not really good at telling stories. So, put it on 1.25 speed, for just to get it over with quicker. And another thing, I just failed to mention that I drank before I did this alcohol, wine to be exact. And so yeah, I just forgot to mention that. That's why my outcome was worse than it normally would have. It still would have been bad either way. But yeah, 1.25 speed. I talk really slow. What's up, mates? Today I'm gonna be telling a story time. By the way, do y'all like my new hair? I'm gonna tell y'all the BENADRYL story time. This story time is long awaited. When I'm saying long awaited, dog, I'm talking I've been holding this shit off for a minute. But I'm gonna just jump into it. Basically, it all started on Friday. I was bored as fuck and my stash had ran out. I had no substances left. So I was like, shit, hit my plug up and he was like, dog, I'm not on wheels till next week. So you're gonna have to wait, you know what I'm saying? I don't got a car or none, so I can't go over there, you know what I'm saying? I can't. So I was just gonna have to wait. So I was like, shit, that sucks. And my desperate ass was so desperate, so desperate, that I was like, bruh, I got Benadryls. I just had them there for that in that case that I had nothing left. And because I heard about it that you could trip on Benadryl or whatever, but I wasn't really too fond of I wasn't really too excited to try it because I knew it was not a good time or whatever. And it just didn't seem I don't know, it seemed risky. So I was just you know what I mean, just in case, I'm gonna fuck with it. But yeah, I stole them from my grandma actually, and I didn't check the bottle or anything, so I didn't read any of it. So, but basically, they were 50 milligram pills. So normally, one pill is 25 milligrams, but these pills were 50 milligrams in each one. And I just assumed they were 25 milligrams. I thought about it, I was like, bro, these are probably 50, but I don't know. I was not even in my room. If I was in my room, I would have been caught so much earlier, dude. I was in a guest room basically, and it was really spacious. It was good. It was a good time to trip. It was a good place to trip. But it was actually pretty scary looking. But anyways, that's not the point. I go in and I impulsively just pop those 15 pills in my mouth, chug it down with almond milk, and I just wait. And dude, the second it hit me, the second I swallowed those pills, my stomach literally instantly felt like shit. And it just, I don't know, I could feel it in my chest. It was weird, going down. It was whack. But I was just pacing around listening to music and just waiting for the effects to kick in. And the first thing I noticed is that the music was louder. It was louder, bro. It sounded so nice. And yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. And then the second thing I noticed is I start to feel tired. I feel kind of not nauseous really. I was just tired, normal tired, because obviously it's Benadryl. And so I'm I really hope I don't miss out anything. It was a 7-hour trip, so I'm gonna try and not forget anything. But what I remember correctly is I go to lay down because I'm fuck, I'm kind of tired. And I my plan, I wasn't trying to trip. I in my mind, I thought I did 350 milligrams, which is a chill dose if you just want to chill, which is what my intention is, just chilling. I did not mean to trip balls on this shit. That was just not my goal. And so I laid down, I'm okay, the plan for the rest of the night is just I'm just gonna watch Netflix and fall asleep eventually and chill. And I try and do that, and the first thing I fucking notice is I start having auditory hallucinations. So I hear a fucking truck just zoom through the road right behind my house, and then I hear a dirt bike zoom through right after, and it was super fucking loud, and I was like, what the fuck, like who the fuck is doing that? Because like, mind you, like Benadryl, when you're like tripping on this shit, you're delirious, like you do not know you're tripping, and like common sense just like leaves your brain, short-term memory enters the chat, like it's just like it fucks you up so good. So I get up and I'm like, yo, I need to check that shit out. So I get up and I this part didn't even happen, but I just thought it was, this part is so weird to explain, but I basically get up and I like look out the window, like the door had like a little window, and so I look out the window and I like daydream, but like I didn't know it was a daydream, it was like felt like a real dream, but I just daydreamed that I physically in real life opened the door and I like peeked out the fence and I saw nothing. So then I just like hopped back down and like came back in, but like that never really happened. Like I was still like sitting there like looking like an idiot like on the window the whole time, and I didn't notice, and I noticed like right after it happened. I was like, wait, yo, because I had moments where like I knew when I was tripping, and like other moments where I couldn't tell, like I just thought it was like real life. So like right when I went back inside, I was like, well, went back inside, I never really left. I was like, yo, what the fuck, that didn't happen, like there's no way like it didn't happen. And so I was like, what the fuck, like that's trippy. And then I started getting really paranoid. I started getting super fucking paranoid that my parents, like one of my parents are gonna walk in and like catch me tripping, because like I knew, like I just felt the dread of like how fucked up I was about to get. Like this wasn't even the beginning. So I start hearing like footsteps and shit. Like I lay back down and I'm trying to watch like a show or some shit and like take my mind off shit, but I just keep hearing footsteps and like shit, and like I keep hearing knocking on the door, and like I look and there's nobody there. After like a couple minutes of just like being paranoid, like someone knocks on the door again, like I hear a knock on the door again, and I peek out the window and I see my dad. And so I'm like, oh shit, like this time it's real, like he's actually here, oh fuck. So like I go over there, I open the door, he goes, yo, I need to check something in the bathroom real quick. And I'm like, oh, like yeah, go ahead. And like that didn't even sound weird, like what would you need to check in the bathroom, but whatever. So I'm like, I'm talking like in real life, I'm physically talking, and I'm talking so slow, and I'm like I get weirded out by myself. So I'm like, let me not talk, like let me not give anything away. So I'm like, I tell him like, oh, like I was just trying to go to sleep, like I'm gonna get back to that. And he's like, okay. Like he just goes in the bathroom and he closes the door, and I like look, I'm looking, like I'm watching him the whole time, like I'm watching his footsteps on the little like crack at the bottom of the door, and I like see him like pacing around, whatever. But then eventually like the footsteps just like stop. So I'm like, I go to check on him, like check if he's still there, like what he's doing. And I open the door and he's not fucking there. And then that's when it hits me that never happened. Like my dad was never there. It was fake. I just hallucinated him. But then right after that, like I said, short-term memory is a thing. So like I completely forget that I'm tripping again. And then I hear another knock on the door, and it's my grandma and my mom, and they're like super enthusiastic. They're like, we need to check the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, like go in. And they go in, same shit happens. Like I wait for them to leave and they don't. So then I go inside and I'm like, and they're not there. They just disappear. I don't know. And so that happens. Next is, this part is like really fucking, like my short-term memory was just ass here, like really bad. So I had already taken a shower, but for some reason I forgot about that. So I'm like, oh shit, like I should probably take a shower, like, you know what I mean, like freshen up and shit and go to bed. And I go in the bathroom, in the shower. I open the door and I realize, I stand there for a couple seconds and I'm like why the fuck am I in here? Like I completely forget like why I'm like standing there, and I'm like, whatever, like I leave. And then I'm like, as soon as I open, like I get out of the bathroom, the same shit happens. I'm just like standing there like an idiot, like wondering like what the fuck am I, like what am I supposed to be doing right now? And then I'm like, oh shit, like I haven't taken a shower. So I go back in the door. I go back in the bathroom, the door, and I'm like, same shit happens. I'm like, yo. And then I remember, like, oh shit, like I already took a shower. Like I don't need to be in here. Like, cool. So I get out, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to take a shower. Like, this is dead ass. I cannot make this shit up. This is genuinely what I was thinking. So I was like, oh shit. Like, so I go back in, and then I'm like about to, like, I forget actually, like, when I go into the bathroom once again, I forget what I'm supposed to be doing, but then I remember in the bathroom. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's right. I need to take a shower. So as soon as I'm gonna, like, turn on the shower, I remember that I had already taken a shower. So I'm like, yo, I don't need to fucking take a shower. And so I like just stop myself right there and I leave, and like I get out of the bathroom. The first thing I see is the bed was like right in front of the bathroom, and the first thing I see is myself dead. But for this particular hallucination, like I knew it was fake. Like I knew I was hallucinating. So I was like, I see myself like dead, and I look like I died due to like circulation loss. Like I was just really purple and like black. Like it hasn't happened to any of my fingers yet, but it usually does when I wear my rings for a really long time. Like it just like turns like black and purplish. Like that was me, but like my whole body. And I have my mouth like slightly open. I just look dead as fuck. And I'm like, this isn't real. So like I fucking like touch myself and I just evaporate. And it was actually like, it was like, dude, it was weird. It was like these blankets. This blanket, it was me like morphed. It was like the blanket was like morphed into me. So like I just ended up touching the blanket. It was, I don't know how to explain it, but whatever. I'm telling you, bro, this delirium bullshit is like crazy, dude. Anyways, after that, like I'm like, fuck, I start getting really thirsty, like Cottonmouth 100. And I'm like, fuck, like I need to like get some almond milk. So I fucking turn around to the fridge and I see a bunch of my friends with red Solo cups. Like red plastic cups just like standing there. They're not even doing anything, just look like statues. And I'm like, what? And I asked like one of them like what they're doing here, like what's going on, and they just don't respond. They're just standing there. And I'm like okay. So I just like get my fucking gallon of almond milk because I didn't have water. And well, and almond milk is honestly way more freshening. Anyways, so I get it, I chug that shit, I put it back in the fridge, I turn around, everybody's gone, they just disappear. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And like after that, I started getting really, really paranoid, but like for no reason. Like I just was paranoid for nothing. Like I was scared that something was gonna pop up and like scare the fuck out of me, like kill me or some bullshit. So I was just like, I was just like turning around like every 5 seconds, like just, I had to like know I was so like self-aware, like, or not self-aware, I was so like hyper aware of all my surroundings and everything. I just like fuck, like anything could just fuck me up right now. So that was really scary. And I get the sudden urge to, I don't know, dude, this sounds really weird. I don't know, like I still don't know why this happened. But I start getting really disoriented and just lose like motor function. So I'm like, oh fuck, like I can't even walk properly anymore. And I look at myself in the mirror, I'm red as fuck. And like something was telling me that like the bottle cap of my deodorant was like evil, and like I needed to like throw it away, like I just needed to. And so I go in the bathroom and I take that shit off, take the deodorant lid off, and I tell myself that I have to throw it away. But I fucking stumble, I like fall and I drop it in the toilet. So I'm like, fuck, like I just like stressed out a little bit because I'm like, fuck bro, like I can't flush the toilet, like I need to take that shit and throw it away. And so I get like paper, paper and like I fucking get it with that, and I leave the bathroom all fucked up, like still stumbling like shit. I somehow managed to like when I'm telling you I could barely walk, dog. I was like I literally fucking like slamming my faces in walls and shit. I finally throw it away, and I like that's when I realized I'm like, yo, like I'm way too fucked up right now to do anything. Like I need to go to sleep. Like I need to sleep this shit off. And so I'm like, okay, like so I go, cause like in this room I had my ring light, and the only light that was coming out of this room that like this room had was my ring light. Like I had to turn all the lights off. It was just my ring light, and it was turned on like a half, like 50% brightness. So I'm like, okay, like let me turn this shit off. I go over to it, I turn it off, and I fucking like it's dark as fuck, like pitch black. Like I'm telling you, like black where like you cannot see like anything. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm sleeping like this. I've never been afraid of the dark before, like ever. But I'm like, there's no way I can go to sleep like this. There's just no way. So I like put it on like the lowest, like brightest setting. So like that doesn't even make sense. Like I just put it on like the dimmest setting. I like stumbled against something and it fell. And it was these like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like the little plastic parts of these ring lights that like change the color. I don't know, basically it's just a fucking piece of plastic. And I stumbled and I dropped it, and it was so fucking loud, like in my ears. It was so loud, like it hurt my ears so bad. And it wasn't that, in real life, I know it wasn't that fucking loud. It just, things were like getting so fucking loud, like so loud, and it like startled the fuck out of me. Like every single little thing, like you could like crush a bottle like of like water, and that shit would scare the fuck out of me because it was so loud. So I was like, shit, bro. Like somehow managed to get over to my bed, and I try and lay down. I go over, like I try to take my mind off shit once again on my phone. So I like lay down on my bed, like on my tummy, and I'm like, I see my phone, so I turn it on. And I'm like scrolling through Instagram, I think it was Instagram, but I'm just scrolling. Like I'm just like stupidly like scrolling through. I'm not even looking at any pictures or videos. I'm just scrolling. And I'm doing that, and eventually like I'm doing that for like 15 seconds, and the phone just evaporates. I actually find my real phone this time, and I grab it, and I'm like, okay, this is heavy. This is my real phone. Like this is my real phone. So I'm like, okay, I grabbed that, and I'm like, all right, like, let me like text somebody, like call somebody, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel kind of, like I was kind of shitting myself, like I was scared. So I was like I want to talk to somebody right now. And so I open my phone with Face ID, and I go on Snapchat, and I can't read shit. Like the words are like uncomprehendable. It didn't even look like, because like one of the side effects of Benadryl is like blurred vision, but it wasn't even like blurry. It wasn't even fucking blurry. It's like the letters were like flipped upside down. If that, like, it just looked like Russian or some shit. I don't know. It was just flipped, and like I couldn't understand one word. Like there's just no way. I just couldn't understand, not even one word. So I didn't even try. I didn't even try and text anybody, because I had known like from other friends who've done Benadryl that like they like text me and they're like speaking gibberish. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to be that guy. I ended up calling my friend Bianca, and I told her what was going on. I was like, yo, like I'm tripping balls right now. Like I'm not having a good time, you know what I mean? And she was like, oh, like that's okay. Like we can talk, whatever. And it was like 4 a.m. at this point. And I try having a normal conversation with her, but I can't. I would forget every 5 seconds what I was talking about, what she was talking about. And then all of a sudden, the door opens. It's this lesbian couple with this little girl. Like they're both blonde. The 3 of them are blonde. And like they had this little girl on a leash. Like she looked like 5 years old or some shit. And these women, like I've never seen them in my life. They look like they were in their like 40s. And I just like stare at them. And all they did was they grabbed something out of my laundry basket. They didn't say one fucking word. They opened the door, they grabbed something out of my laundry basket, and they left. I was like, yo, like who the fuck are they? And Bianca goes, yo, like you're tripping balls. Like she scares the fuck out of me because I forget that I was on FaceTime. Eventually she needed to go to sleep. That's when my body started to feel like shit. Dude, I can't even, this is the most pain I've ever felt in my life, dude. I've fractured so many bones. I've fucked myself up so good so many times, bro. Nothing compares to the pain I was feeling this day. I started getting super fucking nauseous. I was like shaky, like hella shaky. Like I said, I was red, I was hot as fuck. Like, it was so fucking hot. I was sweating, bro, and my heart started beating so fast. And bro, you think like you run like 10 miles and like your fucking heart wants to beat out of your chest. It was more than that. It was that times fucking like a million, bro. I can't even explain to you how much I really thought I was gonna have a heart attack. Like, I really, like, I was just like, there's no way I'm not gonna have a heart attack. So I was just walking around, like pacing around, and I was doing this for like an hour, bro. Just like feeling like shit, debating whether I should call the police or not, because I was scared as fuck of like my parents, like, you know, beating my ass, like, you know, just hating me. So I just did not want to do that. I did not want them to know that I was like, you know, doing drugs or whatever. So I like start having really fucking a hard time breathing at this point. Like, all this shit just comes like at the same time. It was like a mixture of like actually not breathing like good and having like anxiety. Like, I'd never had that shit before, but I was having it really fucking bad. Like, I felt like I was gonna die. Basically, after that, I'm doing the cycle where I'm pacing back and forth, and then I'm sitting down, and then I'm laying down for a couple seconds. So like, I'm doing all that like that like sequence of things. And when I like lay down for those few seconds, I go in and out of consciousness a few times. So like, I go out of consciousness, and I fucking wake up like a couple seconds later, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, that shit can't happen. And I fucking knock out again, wake up like 30 seconds later, I'm like, okay, fucking get the fuck up, you're not gonna die. So I get up and I start doing that shit again, and then I start getting really fucking tired once again. I start like not giving a shit whether I die or not, because I just start getting so tired. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to sleep. Like, I don't care. I'm way too exhausted. Like, I can't do anything. Like, even if I physically wanted to like call the police, call someone right now on my phone, there's no way I'd be able to do it. I was so like incapable of anything. I knock out, basically wake up a day later. When I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm kind of just like shook that I even woke up, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? So I woke up, cool. But everything feels like, I feel just really disconnected from reality. Like, I just felt so numb. Like, it just crazily, like, I just felt like I wasn't here. Like, it was weird. And for a second too, I like genuinely thought I died and I was a ghost, but that was like only a couple seconds. But yeah, like, I woke up and I was fine. I was feeling fine. Like, just the feeling of like nothing was real. Like, I just felt like I was in a dream, but like not in a good way, like when you smoke weed or anything. It was like in a really weird way. And I'm like, fuck, like, I'm gonna go outside, like, talk to my parents. So I'm like fucking walking outside. I'm going to my real house now, and cause like to get to my real house from the guest room, you have to like go outside. And I start feeling like shit again, basically, and my heart starts doing that thing again where it's like beating like really profusely, fucking fast, and then really like slow. And I go back inside my the room, and cause I can't, I'm like, fuck. So I go back in there. Basically for a couple hours, like, I was just drinking hella almond milk and talking to my friends and being like, yo, like, if I like stop talking, like, call like 911, because like, you know, I'm not trying to die. And I remember being so scared that I was like, yo, once this is over, like, if I live, I'm gonna be so happy. Like, I'm never gonna be fucking a depressed ass motherfucker ever again. I was just feeling really shitty, like, just feeling awful. One side of me was telling me that, like, if I would have died, it would have been that night, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have woken up. And that part was obviously like the part I believed the most for the most part. But then there was this other side of me that was telling me that I was just suffering like a really slow, painful death. And like, that really fucking freaked me out. And then that's when I started having like a panic attack, basically, for a few hours. It was like 9 p.m. at this point, 10 p.m. something. And my friend convinced me to go tell my parents, like, it's not worth the risk. So I go inside the room. I somehow managed to go inside the room because I could barely walk. And They're not there. Like, yo, just call the cops, bro. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, fuck it, bro. Like, I was so scared what was gonna happen, but I was like, fuck it. The ambulance comes, long story short, and my parents and the ambulance pull up like basically at the same time. And my parents were freaking me the fuck out. They were like, what the fuck did you do? Like, why are the police here? Why is the ambulance here? I hang up on my friend, and like they're freaking me the fuck out. So I start like freaking out even more and having like a even worse panic attack. And like the ambulance people were being super rude to me. I was like, fuck, I can't breathe. Like, I really thought I couldn't breathe, because like I said, I like experienced anxiety before. And so they were like, yo, like, you're just having a panic attack, bro. But they were being like super rude about it. They're like, you're just having a fucking panic attack, like, relax. But like, they really weren't doing anything like trying to make me feel better. They were just being dicks, like the cops and these motherfuckers. So whatever. After that, the cops, it was like 2 girls. They were like, we need to arrest you, because what you did was illegal. And then they asked me like what the fuck I did, like blah blah blah. Like, I try and explain to my parents that it wasn't suicide, and like, oh my god, like, they were so like, I will never forget the look on my parents' faces. Like, it was just trash, bro. Like, that day, oh fuck, like, I don't even want to get into that. But basically they handcuffed me, they put me in the back of a cop car, take me to the hospital, like that. Like, and it was so fucking hot in the back of the cop car. Or maybe it was just me, but I was still freaking out. Like, I still felt like I still thought I couldn't breathe. And they take me to the hospital. They monitor me. Like, I had a really hard time pissing, and like the nurse chick was like staring at me the whole time. And I ended up being fine. Like, there's like, at that point, like, I was already fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with me anymore. Everything, like, my body was like, you know, recovering. So there was really nothing to be done, just monitoring me for a couple hours. And the next morning, I never even slept. I had to like go through a psych evaluation. There, like, they would ask me questions, and if they saw that I was like okay, they would let me go. If not, I had to stay there for 3 days. On my way to they strapped me on this shit, on the cart or whatever. It's like a 30-minute ride to the psych ward. I'm there, I go in, I get evaluated basically, and I tell them what they want to hear. Like, I'm fine, like, well, that's not what they want to hear. So technically I tell them exactly what they don't want to hear, is like, I'm happy, like, I'm really glad to be alive, which is true. But like, I didn't explain to them like my past, like, you know, shit. And my parents picked me up. It was a really depressing ride home, and just like, we didn't say one word to each other. Got home, and like, that was that. The rest is like, whatever, not important. That is the time I tripped on fucking BENADRYL, yo. And yeah, like, that's the story. I've been fucking trying to tell this story for like a month or 2 now, and I finally did it. So yeah, that is the time I almost died on BENADRYL. So yeah, see you later, and bye.